Okay, so here we have basically the beginning stages. I mean, I'm sort of halfway through the image at this point, but mostly the reason I wanted to discuss verbally what's going on with this image is just to better convey the idea behind the color scheme and the actions taking place. The narration of the scene can be conveyed through a very simple color scheme, and that's how people perceive the mood of a piece or a painting. You know, what's taking place on in terms of subject matter is very important, but color can really help, um, you know, instill and push the idea of whatever type of mood you want that person to feel while looking at the image. So as you can see here, I kind of went with a very simple red, white, and black color scheme, and most of it is an analogous color scheme involving deep reds and fiery oranges and yellows and just that range of the color spectrum, while still incorporating blacks and whites because um, I have two creatures and there's a bit of a conflict, and there's tension going on, especially with the two main creatures, which are kind of facing off, both with their mouths open and ready to claw and tear at each other. But they're not actually touching, and that's the one thing you'll notice with this piece is there's that tension. There's a line that they haven't crossed just yet, so you sort of get that sense of tension between those two creatures while you still have the interaction amongst the other ones that are involved with the white dragon. um, what I had called the feathered creatures, the three or four that you see here, are just calling them black wings. But you basically have the black wings versus the white dragon, and the conflict of the two creatures is this perceived notion of evil, good versus evil, and you kind of question, well, how do we distinguish the difference between the two, especially when you have creatures that such as the dragon and the black wings, they both give off this presence of an evil looking being. You have two beasts, and you kind of want to give the separation, or at least communicate to the viewer, which is good and which is evil. So how do we do that? Well, as you can see here we basically have one creature which is mounted, which that at least gives you the impression that he's domesticated, and he's fighting for the rider, who's our hero, more or less. Um, the hero character also will have some elements of design that will relate back to the dragon itself, both within his armor with the shield, his helmet design incorporating some aspects of culture-based designs, but there's also going to be some elements of some of the dragon's spikes and sharper edges for the horns and other various elements. So with the black wings, the difference there is there's sort of like a pack of wolves, and they're all working together, and they're so the white dragon is outnumbered by these dark, evil creatures that are hunting in a pack, more or less. Um, so you convey a sense of emotion, action, and overall mood through color, and generally blacks, dark colors, reds, and warm, hot tones provide a feeling of evil or anger. Um, And white, generally, whites and softer pale yellows can help instill purity and a sense of a righteous undertone. So that's pretty much the simple explanation of the image itself. There's a lot more going on here, and there could be a more in-depth backstory, as far as who this guy is that's riding the dragon, why they're attacking each other, exactly what's taking place, what happened in the past and what led up to this point in time. But color is something that can really play a big part in how one will actually perceive the mood of an image, because immediately you take all these warm, hot and saturated colors of the deep reds and the oranges and the fiery yellows and the sun and all that, and if you change them to cooler tones, you'll still get the idea of a battle taking place. You'll still get a sense of the the conflict and the tension and the anger and everything. Because I mean, there's the actions of a fight taking place. But as soon as you remove the colors and you go to something cooler, like let's say blues, purples, and you kind of give it a bit more of a night type scene, or let's just say a blue sky, it's not really pushing the emotion of the actions. So you gotta kind of have to um, pick and choose the right colors that'll convey the actions taking place. It helps to push them a little further. Um, so that's basically what I was going for here. And going back to the very simple red, white, and black color scheme, what that also does is that allows me to tie in the black-winged creatures with what I like to call the bleeding sun, because it's sort of a dark sun, it's cracked, and I've got some red lightning going on, just sort of all this chaos and these um, forces of nature and destruction and things that are happening. So basically, it's sort of like the black wings are born of this sun. They're connected with this fiery orange sky, and the white dragon kind of stands out. He stands out from the uh, the whole scene itself in terms of color and design sense, but he also stands out as a focal point. And that's the major focal point, and it's him versus the Black Wings. So I hope you guys find this workshop interesting.